President Trump just banned H1B visas. Well, not exactly banned, but a new executive order puts a significant restriction on the program. And it's going to fundamentally change the way that tech companies operate, how they hire. And there's a lot of implications here. So in today's video, we're going to cover what's in the executive order, why the executive order exists, and what it means for you. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest AI news and how it's impacting the workforce, this is definitely the time to hit like and subscribe. I'm giving you fresh videos 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and on Sunday we rest. So thanks for subscribing. Thanks for engaging with me in the comments. There are so many interesting comments, and I love to see it. I love to see it, guys. You guys bring the heat. I freaking love it. So what's in this proclamation? Let's look at it. So it's titled "The Restriction on Entry of Certain Non-Immigrant Workers." And again, what are the impacts of this going to be? Is it going to exacerbate tensions between the U.S. and India? Is it going to accelerate AI adoption? Is it going to cause a deeper rift between the countries? Is it going to actually fix the growing unemployment issues? Again, we're going to get into it today. So let's start by saying why. Why is this a thing? Why is Trump signing this executive order? And I think it's interesting on the WhiteHouse.gov website. It has this proclamation. And I want to highlight, and I'm going to read the claim verbatim because I think it's interesting. It says, the H-1B non-immigrant visa program was created to bring temporary workers into the United States to perform additive, high-skilled functions, but it has been deliberately exploited to replace rather than supplement American workers with lower paid, lower skilled labor. And I got to say, that claim, I think, is mirrored by a lot of the comments that I read. A lot of you guys in the comments are saying that, Mark, it's not AI, it's always Indian. And, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but I also think that it's foolhardy to disregard the impact that AI is having on the workforce. But that's a whole nother story, a whole nother video. Regardless, basically, the Trump White House is making a claim that, you know, these big tech companies are replacing American labor with cheap overseas H-1B visa labor, right? That's the claim. And they bring some stats to back it up. They show that foreign STEM workers have doubled between 2000 and 2019, from 1.2 million to 2.5 million. While the overall STEM employment has only increased 44.5%. So the amount of tech workers that are being employed increased by 44%, but the amount of overseas labor has doubled. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty, I mean, the math doesn't math there. That's definitely seeing, that definitely backs up their point. They've also seen that this is especially prominent in computer and math occupations, where the foreign share of the workforce has grown from 17.7% to 26.1%. So we're seeing, again, a big increase in foreign workers coming over to the U.S. through the H-1B visa program and taking what would traditionally have been held as American jobs. They also note one software company was approved for over 5,000 H-1B visa workers in 2025. And around that same time, it announced that it was going to be laying off 15,000 employees. And while the proclamation doesn't specify the exact company, we recorded a video a few weeks ago on Microsoft firing 15,000 people. So Microsoft, is that you? I don't know. Go check out that video. I'll post a link to it up here. Anyway, this issue has been particularly devastating to U.S. college graduates. Kids are coming out of college, hundreds of thousands in debt, and they can't get jobs. It is, you know, I don't think this is being talked about enough. I recorded a video on it the other day. I'll post a link to this video too, where the college graduate unemployment rate has increased from 5.8% to 6.6% in just the last 6 months. It's absolutely shocking. It's staggering, and you know, again, watch that video. We go into more detail. But this problem of not hiring U.S. college graduates for these STEM jobs is real. It's a reality. It is happening. I think that much is clear. So what is the key detail? I mean, we're already a few minutes into the video. Thank you for liking and subscribing, by the way. But we haven't actually got into what the executive order does. We just explained why this is a thing. So the executive order essentially puts a $100,000 application fee on top of the H1B visa. So if you're a company, let's say Amazon, and you want to bring over an H1B visa, you got to pay $100,000 just to submit the application. That's a pretty substantial barrier to entry, okay? And I mean, it doesn't really require much more speaking on the matter, but if you were planning on bringing over someone from another country and paying them and undercutting an American wage, it's harder to do that when you're gonna have to pay $100,000. It increases the cost tremendously. Now, it's not 100% clear in the order, but it's my understanding that this should not apply to current H1B visa workers. So if you're already in, you're in. However, the companies are really like reaching out to all of their H1B visa holders and saying, get back into the country now, because this executive order goes live on Monday, September 21st. So there's a very, very real possibility that if you are an H1B visa holder that's outside the country, you might not be getting back in. So again, it's just a lot of confusion. I mean, this is happening so fast. Guys, I was actually gonna record a video today on Meta's new AI glasses, which are completely sick, so cool. But this news is just so big that I know this is such a big topic of conversation in the comments. I wanted to cover it. And just by the way, guys, you can I would encourage you to sign up for my newsletter, the AIupdate.ai. Go to AIupdate.ai. There's a link below. You can sign up for my newsletter. But if you have a really good insight into this, and the comments are just so sick on the channel, if you have a good insight, post your comment below. If it's great, I will pin it. I've pinned comments before, I will pin them again, because I mean, I want to learn just as much as you. This is an important time to be learning, guys. Okay, so what's the impact here? We've looked at why the executive order, we looked at what's in the executive order, but let's look at, what is the impact? What does this actually mean? Well, it's obviously a major blow to the US tech giants. And I did some math here with ChatGPT and looking at companies like Amazon, for example. Amazon was the top H1B recipient in 2024, thousands of H1B visa holders. Now, right now they have 10,000 H1B visas as of June of 2025, right? If they were to submit applications for all of those H1B visas, that's $1 billion in application fees. That doesn't even take into other considerations on renewals and stuff like that, which is still a little bit murky. But that's $1 billion in application fees. Do you think that impacts the way that they're gonna hire? I would think so. Again, they're already in, so they're not gonna be subject to it, but it's setting a precedent moving forward. Microsoft, as of June 2025, had 5,100. That's $500 million in application fees. So we're saying, if these companies, if they are gonna be serious about hiring overseas talent, you're tacking on millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in order to get these people across the, over the line. Now, in some cases, it might be worth it if you're hiring really skilled, really talented labor. I mean, we recorded a video a few weeks ago, I'll post it up here, where Meta was paying $250 million signing bonuses to get top AI talent over to the Meta organization. So you're still gonna wanna be hiring the top talent. It's still gonna be worth it. You'll pay the $100,000 fee in a moment if you're getting top talent. But you're not gonna be hiring mid-level or entry-level talent from overseas if you're gonna have a $100,000 bill attached to it. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be hiring American talent, US talent. Make America great again. And honestly, to me, this seems like a great thing for college kids who are in STEM right now. They're probably pumping their fists in the air. They're like, I might be able to get a job. This is amazing. I might be able to graduate and get a job. All this stuff that I've been learning and dedicating my life to and spending tens of thousands of dollars on, now I might be able to get a job. Sweet. I think it's great. I think they're probably pumping fists pretty hard. So that's a side note. The flip side is this is gonna definitely hit our Indian IT firms very, very hard and could certainly exacerbate the tensions between the US and India. India holds, by the way, 75% of the H1B visas. So we're just hiring a bunch of talent from India. So all my Indian viewers out there, it's gonna going to look different. It's going to look different. It's going to be much harder to get an H1B visa job and come here to the United States. And just a quick side note, I don't love all the manipulation into the markets, particularly with the tariffs and all this stuff. I don't love it. I think you let the free markets do what the free markets do. I don't like the government intervening. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But just as a side note, I like, just let the markets handle it. The more government gets involved, the more bureaucratic and messy things get. My opinion. You could disagree. You could certainly disagree and put your comments below. That's fine. What else is the impact here? Well, if it's obviously there's going to be an increased cost of labor, which as a result is going to lead to an increased cost of goods and services. That iPhone that you love, those softwares that you love, those enterprise softwares that you're using, they could definitely increase in cost. The other impact is that, companies are adaptable. They're going to adapt. They're going to move. They're going to juke. And I think that this could certainly increase the speed of AI automation and adoption. I mean, I don't know how much faster you could increase that speed because, companies are laying off thousands of employees to at the very least test AI automation and then adjust accordingly. But if the cost of labor increases dramatically, the urgency of leveraging AI is going to increase. I talked about this in my newsletter today, which you can get at AIupdate.ai. Drops every Saturday. But when you're determining to take on a project, because there's so many different projects, there's so many different things that we could be learning. You need to have a way as an organization of determining which projects you should focus on. And one of the metrics that I look at is the urgency, like how urgent is this? And I also like to attribute a dollar value to it. Okay, what is the dollar value of this problem? And so if there was a company that was on the fence about implementing AI into a certain role, but it was lower on the scale as far as urgency, it was lower on the scale because of the dollar valuation. Well, now they're saying, well, if we're going to bring over talent from overseas in an H1B visa program, it's going to cost us another $1 million. It increases the urgency and the cost savings of working on that AI project. So this could move AI projects and AI automation higher up on the pecking order of projects to work on. Okay, this is certainly going to shift to, I don't see how companies under these types of restrictions could be hiring lower skilled labor and getting H1B visas. They're just going to be bringing over the top labor, the top skills, which, I'm for that. We want the best of the best here, man. I don't care, I don't care your skin color, your religion. I do not care. If you are on board with the American way of life, if you're on board with freedom, if you're on board with meritocracy, with creating a better world, with solving interesting problems, come on over. We want you. If you're into, if you don't love America, if you don't love the idea of freedom, if you don't like the idea of meritocracy, then, this is not the place for you. All right? This is not the place for you. We want freedom, loving, it's about freedom, baby. Braveheart's my favorite movie for a reason. All right. Now, this could also shift the other resources, so I don't get off too much of a tangent here. The other impact here is a shift to offshoring and remote work, because it doesn't appear to me that type of work is going to be impacted by these shifts. So companies certainly may say, well, Jim, we were thinking about bringing you over to the United States under the H1B visa program. We'd like to work with you, but we're just going to work with you offshore. You can do remote work from your home there in India, China, Bangladesh, wherever you're at. So more offshoring, less coming to America type stuff happening, I would see. Okay, so to kind of put a bow on this thing, what does this mean for us? And I'm going to stay consistent with my messaging, boys. And I think it's important. So we need to focus on what we can control. Focus on what you can control. There's a lot of noise out there, and we want to be aware of what's happening. That's why I'm recording these videos 6 days a week. We want to know what's happening, but we want to focus on what can we control? What can we wrap our arms around? Trump passing the H1B visa, you can't control that. a foreign war, you can't control that. Focus on what you can control. Don't get caught up in all the noise, you know? Keep upskilling. Keep reinventing yourself. I talk about this quite a lot, and I haven't heard anyone disagree with me. You may disagree, I'd love to hear it. Prove me wrong. I have not heard anyone disagree with me on this, that we are living in an age where you are going to need to reinvent yourself every 2 years the rest of your professional life. You're going to need to continue to reinvent yourself because technology is moving so quickly, so rapidly. I honestly don't know what I'm going to be doing 2 years from now, but I do know that I'm going to continue to upgrade my skills. I'm going to continue to reinvent myself. And what I'm going to do, and this is what I encourage you to do, by doing that, by being public, by continuously upgrading yourself, when the opportunities come, you have the opportunity, you're ready for it. Because if you're sitting on the bench saying things are fine now, you're not going to be ready when the opportunities come. You understand? You need to be in a place where it's like, put me in, coach. I'm ready. I'm warmed up. I'm stretched. Put me in. Be ready, guys, because the skills that you've been building the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you know, you can leverage those, you can use those, but those are not going to be the same skills you need in this new world. And I really hope this message reaches someone today, because it's too dangerous to be comfortable right now. All right, it's just too comfortable. You can't be comfortable right now. Keep upskilling. Look, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for subscribing to the channel and checking out the newsletter. If you like today's video, I think you're going to be very interested in yesterday's video. We talk about SoftBank, and SoftBank laying off hundreds and hundreds of employees. Why? They're going all in on AI and data center development. It's a really fascinating story. I think you're going to like it. Check it out. It's right here. And I'll see you there, boys. Have a good weekend. Have a good Sunday, all right? Peace.